Playground Games is apologizing for Forza's multiplayer issues. Machine Games could be working on another game, and touch controls are highly utilized through Xbox Cloud Gaming. Welcome back to another video, guys. If you enjoy daily Xbox content, make sure to hit that subscribe button. So Forza Horizon 5, one of the greatest games to come out this year, one of the best looking games, if not the best looking game, just overall in racing, probably the best racing game to ever be released, has had some issues in terms of its multiplayer. There have been connection issues. I've experienced it just randomly disconnecting from the online servers. It's been hard to find matches at times, and Playground Games was aware of this. They've been working on it, and with their next update, they are going to be apologizing for this by giving free gifts to everybody within the game. So what they're going to be giving out is 1,000 free Forzathon points to all players in Forza Horizon 5's next content update, as a way of saying sorry for the numerous multiplayer issues that the game has been experiencing. And Forzathon points are the currency that you can use to buy just so many things like cars, cosmetics, different things for your avatar. So it is something that people want. You collect them as you play through the game, so 1,000 free ones will definitely help with buying things in the future, and they're exclusively used within the in-game shop. So it'll be interesting to see what you can buy with these 1,000 Forzathon points, but it's good to see they are recognize the problem and they are apologizing by giving players these free amount of points. And they didn't have to do this. They could have just went ahead and updated the game, but they're going and taking that extra step beyond just doing that, making sure the problems are fixed, with giving everybody a thank you, I guess you could say, for logging and playing game. I mean, there's so many players playing Forza. I think it hit like 11 million players, even more than that now. So it's pretty wild, just the success of this game and the fact they're going to be giving out so many points to so many players. It'll be interesting to see how many actually use them, how many they have to give out, and all that kind of stuff. When it comes to Xbox Game Studios, they have a ton of studios, and there are a ton of games coming out that we know of, but then there seems to always be a bunch of new things that are being found out or being leaked coming from Xbox Game Studios publishing, or just from more games that the current studios that are in Xbox are working on. We've seen already a bunch of stuff like Project Belfry. We've seen Pentiment coming from Obsidian, the Brassline game featuring the Wu-Tang Clan, and there's like a bunch of other stuff too that I can't think of right now. But there is another game that apparently is being worked on from Machine Games. So we know Indiana Jones is being worked on with Machine Games. People are still kind of waiting on whether Wolfenstein 3 will be officially announced, and it looks like this may be the case sometime in the near future. As Clobro here tweets, it looks like Machine Games, an Xbox studio, could potentially be working on another new game next to Indiana Jones. 2 LinkedIn profiles mention an unannounced project, and neither of these devs are listed in the Quake Reddit. So if you go here, the post says working on systems designed for an unannounced project, as well as it confirms here that they are the lead game designer on an unannounced project, as well as a senior game designer on an upcoming Indiana Jones game. So it's an additional game besides that Indiana Jones game, and who knows what it could be. Most people would assume this would be Wolfenstein 3, or it could be something completely different and completely new. It just gives us more games to think about going forward into the future, more games coming to Xbox Game Pass. I mean, it's crazy the amount of games that are going to be coming out in the next like 2 to 5 years, and more are going to be in development. And this just goes forward to the plan that Xbox has talked about, where they want to be releasing a first party game every 3 to 4 months that you're going to be able to jump into and play right on Xbox Game Pass. And it gives you consistent content, which is what they want. They want people to continuously be logging into Xbox Live, onto Xbox Game Pass, and always be engaged. And to do that, you're going to have lots of great content coming out, similar to the thing that I guess Netflix does. They're always releasing new content all the time to get people to log back in. And it takes a long time. It takes a long time to get all these studios to create these huge games, to get them to start releasing on schedule. And once the ball starts rolling, which I think it kind of already has, when you think of Forza, you think of Halo, then you think of the stuff coming out next year with Redfall and Starfield. I think it's going to be a consistent drop of first party AAA or even smaller indie style games from all of these Xbox game studios. And finally here, Microsoft talks about Xbox Game Pass and cloud gaming and touch controls, and how significant these have been in terms of engaging users to play games. So cloud gaming this week has had a lot of news, a lot of information. We've had the clarity boost, which I made a video about earlier. It really does make a difference when you're playing Xbox cloud gaming through the browser and you hit the clarity boost and everything just looks sharper and looks better. We saw the Qualcomm presentation where Razer currently has a dev kit to use the new Snapdragon G3X, and this is going to be a chip that is used for mobile gaming, creating Nintendo Switch-like devices that's going to utilize full downloadable content on the device, Xbox Cloud gaming from the cloud, as well as streaming from your local console. And they really highlighted Xbox as a partner to be using these products with. And now we have some more information about how the touch controls are utilized within Xbox Cloud gaming. And Microsoft detailed how 20% of cloud players are using touch exclusively to play titles on Xbox Game Pass Ultimate. And players using touch are more than twice as likely to play and engage with titles on the service. Now, overall, it makes sense. It makes sense because if you're out, or you're somewhere where you don't have a attachable controller, you just want to jump into xCloud and play a game to pass the time. It's so easy to access. I've tried it before. I can't grasp touch controls. I don't know why. I find that the experience with them for me isn't that great, but I'm trying to use them more and more. And the more I use it, the more I'm kind of getting used to it. But overall, I'm just not a big fan of touch controls. But for a lot of people who've played a lot of mobile games or who are used to playing games on their phone all the time, where you have the joystick just on the screen and the buttons, you kind of are used to it. And this makes a lot of sense for certain types of games. I mean, touch controls for strategy games, for maybe side scrollers and stuff, could work very, very well for a lot of the games on Xbox Game Pass. But obviously it's not just for those types of games that people are using them for, because Microsoft also went on to talk about how Dragon, Quest 11, Hades, Minecraft Dungeons, Yakuza Like a Dragon, and Scarlet Nexus are few titles that are seeing almost a third of the users exclusively engaging via touch controls, which is super interesting, especially with a game like Hades where you got to be really fast. Like if you miss the button, you're gonna die, but people are using it a lot to play the game. And this has Microsoft really focusing on how they can help developers leverage the Azure tech to create cloud-aware games. So making sure that the games are showing up and playing properly no matter what screen you're on, what device you're using. So they're allowing developers to do things like add contextual action buttons, such as in Sea of Thieves. So replacing your standard Xbox controller buttons with literal icon buttons that do specific actions. I think that will make a lot of sense, because if you have a phone, trying to jam all of the buttons on the screen will literally take up the entire screen. You won't even be able to see the game that you're playing. And I think this is just going to be the continuation in the future and the advancement of the video game market. Microsoft has, I mean, the best start to it. They're making deals with all of these other companies to use the Azure tech, and they're going to pretty much be the leader for cloud gaming in the future. And you can already tell with Xbox Cloud Gaming how they're continuing to improve it. They're trying to bring it to more devices. And this touch control stuff makes a lot of sense, because it really just opens up access to as many people as possible to jump in. And it doesn't take away the access for the people that don't want anything to do with it and always want to be playing on the traditional controller, which is somebody like me. So I don't think this is a bad thing in any way. And I think the more that this happens, the more access we get, the more games that will come onto the service, and just the more content overall that we're going to get on Xbox Game Pass. So that's it for me, guys. Let me know what you think about Forza Horizon 5 giving the 1000 Forzathon points. What do you think about the new Game Machine Games working on the unannounced project? What do you think it is? You think it's Wolfenstein 3, or do you think it's something else? And touch controls, do you use them with Xbox Cloud Gaming? If you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit that thumbs up button. If you're new here, you like what you saw throughout this video, I would appreciate it if you hit that subscribe button to help this channel grow and help grow this community, so we can have great conversations in the comments below. Thank you everyone for watching. Thank you for your support, and I'll catch you in the next video. We'll be right back.